Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This will be my top 10 stocks as we head into Tuesday, April 18th. This will be a technical analysis breakdown. So if you are someone that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about charts and how they can be used as a tool to help make good decisions as a trader, this will be a video for you. Real quick, a couple clarifications. Number one, the price you see over here will be changing, and the candlestick you see right there will be moving around. That is because the market's still open for a small amount of time, but I like to do these videos when the market is still open because sometimes we can capture some really interesting late day price movement. And then second, I'll be using the 30-minute time frame, meaning each one of these candlesticks here represents 30 minutes worth of time. So stock number one here, PRST, which has had a very, very big pullback here as I speak, last 30 minutes. Quite the pullback from the highs, but taking a step back and looking at everything, the trend is still up. There's still plenty of opportunity to build a higher base, and that's what matters most from a trend building standpoint. So I'm going to be looking at this thing because there's a couple different angles. I realize the chart could look like a catastrophe to you. If you're a day trader that you bought right there and your plan was to buy and sell within 7 minutes, well then yeah, from that angle, chart looks really bad. But like I said, I'm going to talk about this from more so a bigger picture point of view. So first part of this pattern that really stands out to me is this area of resistance right up here at the $5 mark, give or take. And then along with that, there is this area of support down here via that level. So let me change this to green to represent more so the support dynamic. And then to make this all easier to see, let's just make it one color. So we have our resistance, we have our support, we have the big explosion right there. For you golfers out there, we'll make this a little bit more visual, put our golf hole down there. So this will be known as a bull pennant pattern. Now, do guarantees exist? They do not. But is it valid? Is it plausible to think that the price could come down here, bounce off this trend line, or if it gets up to that area and break through it, that break in and of itself could create additional buying pressure? Those are certainly plausible outcomes, not guaranteed, but it's not like anybody could accuse you of being crazy there because you just technically be playing the bull pennant pattern. So if you like this price range, if you like bull pennants, keep an eye on it. Next one, CFRX, and like PRST, very, very rough final 30 minutes right now as this thing continues to drop down. But nonetheless, we'll talk about this from more of the bigger picture point of view, as I just talked about with PRST. So in terms of levels of overall levels of resistance, key level here seems to be right up at 375. Now, I realize the price did go up above there a couple of times, but there's also some instances where the price didn't quite go up that high. So I'm just trying to find a middle ground. And like I said, I'm going to call that middle ground 375 as that main area of resistance if there's any sort of turnaround. And then as far as areas of support are concerned, the level here that the price is essentially testing or very close to testing is that lows from earlier in the opening 30 minutes down at $2.20. So keep an eye on that. And then from the big picture point of view, again, keep this all the same color from a pattern standpoint, resistance, support, big upwards move there. This would be more of a bull flag pattern. Maybe you would disagree, and that's fine. Maybe you'd say, no, this is more just simply a sideways channel pattern. Like I said, I wouldn't put up a big argument against that. I completely see where you're coming from. But like I said, hopefully we can all agree that, yeah, this area up here, generally speaking, at 375 is a key level from a resistance standpoint, and then this level down here at 220, key level from a genuine support standpoint. So overall, keep an eye on these dynamics here. And again, like I said, if you like to play these sorts of patterns down in this price range, keep an eye on it. Next one, BBBY, and okay, maybe just maybe this is the start of something bigger. Now, we've had a false alarm already. Last week did the video when this move happened saying, okay, maybe this started something bigger, but no, it wasn't. It just completely bled to the downside. So just keep in mind, and I'm not saying that what happened over here is going to happen here. I'm just saying that, just because the price starts to show life doesn't mean for sure guaranteed a bigger move is coming, but does it make it plausible? Does it make it rational to throw out the question, hey, maybe this thing is going to try to make a bigger move? Yeah, it now becomes plausible because, well, we have some, momentum that's shown up, but it just becomes at this point a question of, is this momentum going to continue? Which is an exciting question because you can't ask that question unless momentum shows up in the first place. But we do have momentum, so worth at least keep an eye on. And the level that I would definitely consider very important from a support standpoint is this level down here at 26.5 cents. And to me, that's very important. And I'm not saying this will occur, but for example's sake, if the price does come down to 26.5 and breaks down through it, what is that doing to the price at that point in time? That's quite literally putting the price right back inside of this range where it just broke out of. And I mean, not to insult your intelligence, but price movements that go back to where they were, not exactly a sign of genuine power or true strength. So keep an eye on that dynamic there from a support standpoint. In terms of areas of resistance, main dynamic here is all about this level at, let's see, what is that? The 32-cent mark. Going through the history of things, you can see, you can see 32 cents right there, rejected the price down, and then you correspond that with today. And once again, that's where it found some resistance. But overall, no doubt about it, big volume today, nice momentum. Can this momentum continue? Let's see what happens. Next one here, ticker symbol STSA, and I like this one for the simple reason of this little pattern here that's formed. So let me get this pattern drawn up first. And this is what I would refer to and call a falling, or excuse me, sorry, I'm trying to change colors and talk at the same time. A falling wedge pattern, which is actually a bullish pattern. And the reason why I like it a little bit more than a normal falling wedge is this is actually all happening in a bullish context because of this big gap up. Now, sure, the gap up has had quite the beat down since it started, but again, it is still occurring in a general, gap up situation. So let me be very clear, and I wish I could say it was this easy. Just because the pattern's bullish does not mean for sure guaranteed the price is going to go up. But would it shock people if the price came up here and broke through that trend line and then got a bigger move in the upwards direction? I don't think that would be shocking to anybody because they'd notice, okay, yeah, well, that was just a bullish breakout of that falling wedge pattern. So if you like falling wedges, definitely keep an eye on it. Next one here, AMC, not a whole lot to say, so I don't think I'll spend much time on it other than good solid day. Now, what makes me say that when, it's not like the price exploded or anything like that? Well, let's keep in context that, this got very nasty on Friday. Price came all the way down there and then did get a nice bounce. But at this point, it's always valid to throw out the question of, okay, yeah, it's bouncing, but is this just going to be one of these situations where the price bounces and then rolls right back over and continues on down? Again, very, very valid, wise question to ask. And as of now, no, it wasn't. The gains completely have held themselves. Now, does that mean for sure they're going to continue to hold themselves? Of course not. But does it also suggest that, okay, the gains held themselves? So maybe this is just a little bit of a consolidation before another move back to the upside? Yeah, that also is a very worthwhile, scenario to throw out there. Again, all based on the premise that at least the price maintained the gains that were, occurred after the bounce on Friday. So like I said, good healthy day, maintained the bounce, got a little tight range here. Does it get more continuation on Tuesday or Wednesday? Let's see what happens. Real quick, want to take a break and personally invite you to get signed up for this free live online class that I'm offering here in a couple of days. So if you've been enjoying what you've seen and you want to learn more about this tool, how it can and should be used to build consistency and manage risk, then definitely get signed up for the free live class. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a link down in the description box. If you're watching at my site, there's an area right there on the webpage that you can click to get signed up. So like I said, if you've been enjoying, definitely get signed up for the free live online class. Next one here, BOIL, and a very, very interesting day now moving forward because it's been a long time, but the price is now finally up above that pink line there, which is the 200 period moving average and a level that has been very stubborn and has not really allowed the price to get back up above it. But the price is now above it. So it brings up some good questions of, is this the start of something even bigger? And then we also have just a very, very well-defined pattern. And when you have well-defined patterns like this, call it a self-fulfilling prophecy, call it whatever you want, it can definitely produce some very dynamic movements. So there's our resistance. And let me change this to green again, which you now know as our area of support. And then just to quickly make this easier to see, resistance, support, big move up, golf hole down here. So we have ourselves another bull pennant pattern, but the difference here is the bull pennant is occurring now above that pink line. So it just brings that much more credibility that maybe this thing is getting ready to make that much bigger of a move to the upside. And I know I've said this a million times, but I will continue to say it. There are no guarantees, so that's why risk management matters. But would anybody be justified to call you crazy for being a little bit more bullish on this one all of a sudden? I don't think so, because you have a lot of good reasonings, to feel more bullish. So again, risk management matters. But yeah, I see and hear you if you are feeling that much more bullish. Next one, NIO, very nice move today, and along with the talking points of what we just talked about with BOIL, a very well-defined pattern on a very well-known stock. So we have our area of resistance right there, very well-defined level of support. I mean, check that out. I mean, the price bounced off that 974 mark, or excuse me, 975 mark several times. We'll call it 975. Makes it a little bit easier to remember. So that's going to be that main area of support, key area of support right up there at $9.90. So I don't remember. We had one that looked like this previously. What was that? Was that CFRX, I think maybe? But we have our resistance. We have our support. We have the big upwards move here. So we have ourselves another bull flag pattern. So if you like bull flags, especially on stocks that are more popular, such as NIO, keep an eye on it. Next one, GMDA. Interesting chart. It's just, like I said, look down here, huge volume. But at the same time, you have this huge volume. It's just basically a perfectly smooth mountain to the downside that gets smaller and smaller and smaller, yet the price is doing a good job of hanging around up there. So just kind of a bizarre situation, but that is a whole lot that goes into a watch list. and, is to find interesting situations and not randomly rush out and buy anything, but to watch it and just kind of observe. And like I said, in my mind, a unique looking chart to have just such an explosion of volume, yet the volume drops off kind of consistently, and yet the price is holding up there. In fact, the price is, what I would consider, put in a nice little, I'll make that very crude, a bit of a bull flag, bull pennant pattern. So it's just one of those things where, if you kind of like these, type situations, and you like this price range, certainly worth at least keeping an eye on. Next one, TSLA. Tesla did this one on Friday and do it on a routine basis, given I trade it quite a bit. So at this point, there are two main levels that stand out to me. First level will mean a little bit more to those of you that have watched past videos. Well, actually, both levels will. But for those of you that did watch the video on Friday, I put that green line into play. Just kind of let's see what happens with it out of curiosity. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. I'll turn it into a quick plug to get signed up for the class. But sign up for the class. A real life example here of the power of technical charts and the tool here that I'm using. But I mean, think about it. Price was dropping and dropping. What a coincidence. Look right where it decided to bounce, not only a couple times there, but then once more, again, that trend line that I put into place on Friday. And if you don't believe me, I'm not offended. Maybe I'm a total stranger to you. Just go back and watch the watch list from Friday, and you'll see I put that line in there and a classic example of the power of charts. So yeah, go get signed up for that free class. Anyways, that remains a key level of support moving forward. Puts the level right down there around 184-ish mark, give or take a little bit. And I say that because obviously this line is increasing to the upside, so that value is changing and getting slightly higher with every passing 30-minute session. And then as far as areas of resistance, again, this will mean more to you. I've been talking about that pink line there, the power of charts. So again, another plug, the power of charts. What a coincidence, right where the price got rejected at that 200 period moving average, just like it did back then there. So does that mean that it's impossible for the price to break above there? Absolutely not. I'm just saying it makes sense why the price did struggle at that area and why moving into Tuesday, let's just call it 189 will be that main area of resistance. Next one, TQQQ, which is an ETF that measures the NASDAQ market. So if you believe that the NASDAQ market as a whole is going to rise, this one will also rise. Big difference. It just allows you access at a much lower price point, which makes it a very popular ETF. And overall, a good solid, I should say more so afternoon here for the NASDAQ. As you can see right here, these candles essentially going straight up right here, which now puts into play a very valid question regarding that area of resistance, which I talked about previously. And that level sits right there at $27.75. So that'll definitely be a key level to watch closely to see if it can come into play. And if it does, will it be able to hold? And then on the flip side, sort of like Tesla, a couple key levels that still hold up going back to when I talked about it on Friday. But I talked about that pink line there, 200 period moving average. And sure, it never hit today. But I mean, that area right there got relatively close to it. But point here being from more of a broad point of view, 27.75 certainly going to be the main area of resistance. And then if I just kind of turn this to a trend line, then that area down there as our main area of support. So the longer this drags out, then you're going to have more of a credible ascending triangle pattern. Maybe some people would already call this an ascending triangle. I don't know if I'd fully agree with them, but I totally understand where they're coming from. But yeah, if the price, chops around between these two yellow lines the next couple of days, then at that point, yeah, definitely a for sure, very well confirmed ascending triangle pattern. But more of the story here is that 27.75 key area of resistance, and then that 200 period moving average key area of support. So that wraps up the top 10 list. Again, if you like what you saw here and you want to learn more about this tool and how it can and should be used, and definitely get signed up for the free class. Like I said, it'll be later this week, Thursday, April 20th. At 7 p.m. Eastern time, so I hope to see you there. As far as these top 10 videos are concerned, if you enjoy these, if you would like for me to continue to do these, put in the time and effort, then do two things for me. Hit that like button, leave a comment. Tell me what you traded today. Did you make money? Did you lose money? Tell me what you're watching tomorrow. But those two things communicate to me that you're enjoying. And like I said, as long as I know that you as a viewer are enjoying, I will continue to put in the time and effort to get this content out to you. So again, hit the like button, leave a comment below, get signed up for that free class. Take care. Have a good one.